Yeah, when I first went over there, I think I went because of my time in Bulgaria. Excuse me. Because of my time in Bulgaria, I was like 21. I was over there on my own, just not living right, like not doing the right things, and I was kind of so focused on not making the same mistake that I kind of wasn't really like putting myself out there or doing much. And I think at the beginning, I probably struggled a bit in that way. I probably wasn't really being myself. Um, and I think that kind of held me back a little bit at the start. Um, so that's one of the things when I went there first. I would have liked to have started off a bit better.
So coming from Scotland, obviously, as you said yourself, you're in Bulgaria. I guess Bulgaria and Cyprus, you've got a similar kind of culture. Uh, I'm not going to ask you how easy it was for you to settle, because I guess English is a second language in Cyprus. But you coming from a massive club like Celtic to APOEL, who, let's be fair, they are one of the biggest clubs on the island. In terms of the expectancy from the supporters, did you feel that this was a club that had to win titles every single season?
Not when I first went. Like when I first went there, I didn't realize the pressures or like how big the club was in Cyprus, first of all. And probably like I'd probably add that into a factor in having a slow start there. And then the other part of it is like you were saying about I was at Celtic, so you've got like the being at a big club in a country or a country's biggest club. It's like when I was at Celtic, I was a youth player. I was never really one of the first team players that's going to be recognised all the time every time I'm out on the street. Whereas in Cyprus, it was different. Everyone would recognise me, and that probably took a little bit of getting used to, because it was probably the first time really I'd had that.
Oh, that's fair enough. I mean, the reason I ask is because, you mentioned just then that you weren't like a first teamer at Celtic, but you kind of knew the ethos of the club and what the expectancy was. I guess that from a youngster, you guys would have been told, right, these are the standards that need to be met. This is what's to be expected. Granted, it's still, you had Rangers, you had other clubs in there like Hearts, I guess, and Hibernian, Aberdeen as well, who rich history with Alex Ferguson back in the day. But at the same time, that pressure from coming from Scotland to APOEL, a club, as I said, expected to win titles, expected to challenge week in, week out, with constant managerial changes, with players on big wages. I mean, even John Arne came to Cyprus as well. So it must have been a little bit, I wouldn't say nervy for you, but were you a little bit, wow, like what the fuck's going on kind of thing?
Yeah, it took me back a bit. Like I've said this a few times, that I've underestimated the football in Cyprus. Like I think a lot of people in the UK would do. Like how they view football in Cyprus, and that probably surprised me a bit at the start. And then kind of like the relationship clubs have with fans in Cyprus is totally different to what it's like in the UK. And not only Cyprus, it's more the UK to the rest of Europe, like kind of Eastern kind of Europe.
Yep.
And it's totally different. So the first time something happens, like if the fans come to training and let you know things aren't acceptable, you're kind of like, whoa, what's this? And then it happens again, and then you realize, okay, this is how it is. This is the expectations. If you're not winning, if you're not playing well, then you're going to know about it.
But did you get the APOEL though? Because they were winning titles, as Roy said. You won 2 consecutive titles, 2 doubles. Did that sort of thing happen there?
Yeah. Because we had a bad start. We that first season we won the league. We were I think 12 points behind. IL, I think, were pretty much first, maybe the whole season. And obviously that's why Paulo Sergio got sacked because we were lost a lot of games, and obviously maybe not lost all the games, but we weren't winning the games we should have been winning, and we got knocked out of Europe, and then luckily got picked out of a hat to go into the Europa League. So at the start, I found out pretty quickly like it's what their expectations were.